Morning, y'all. Welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. We're the Morgans, and as always, we're happy to have you here with us today. Today, we're going to be doing some breakfast. We're going to make a big old country style breakfast. We're going to do gravy and biscuits and sausage and eggs and fried potatoes. All right, so now we're going to make us some biscuit dough. And how we're going to do that, we're going to take us about 2 cups of flour. There's one. There's 2. I don't really want to make a whole lot of biscuits here this morning. There's only 2 of us here eating, so don't want a whole bunch of biscuits. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some shortening in it. Now, I'm using lard here today, but you can use Crisco or just whatever you want to. And you just want to put enough in there that you can make your flour kind of chunk up a little bit. Then we're going to just mash it into that flour. We want it to kind of get to a consistency of kind of like cornbread, but maybe not hardly as thick as cornbread is. So we're just going to mash that shortening up in there really good. Get it. This is what we call cutting it in. Of course, this is the part where you got to get a little dirty. And get that on your hands and get it in that flour and work it around. I'm going to put just a little bit more in there. I don't think we hardly got enough just yet. So I'm going to get another little scoop out of here. Drop that in there. And keep cutting it in. Remember back when I was a kid, on Sundays especially, my mother would get up and she would make homemade biscuits and gravy and eggs and sausage and bacon and potatoes, just the whole 9 yards. And we'd sit at the dining room table and have our meal. And back then there wasn't cell phones and tablets and all of that stuff. So we sat there and we talked. That's something that we kind of gotten away from over the years is sitting and talking to each other. And even in the restaurant, I see people come in, sit down, give their order, and the first thing they do is break out that cell phone and start talking or texting, not talking. Can't sit there and just have a meal. They got to be texting somebody or looking at YouTube or looking at Facebook or something. But that's the thing that we've gotten away from over the years. And so if you decide you want to do this and you're going to make a good meal for breakfast in the morning, get your family in there at the dining room table. Tell them no cell phones, no tablets, nothing like that. And y'all sit down and have a meal together. That's, again, something we've just gotten away from. All right, next step. You can see kind of what that looks like. And we're going to use some buttermilk. Now, if you're Southern, you're going to make buttermilk biscuits. But if you're not, you can use sweet milk or whatever you want. But for Southern biscuits, you got to have buttermilk. We put our buttermilk in there, and you just put a little bit in there to start with, because it don't take a whole lot before you can get your dough going here. Just stir that up, get everything sticky and covered in milk, and you can see kind of what that's looking like. Now you don't want to overwork it. That's the big thing. If you overwork your biscuit dough, then you're going to have a problem and your biscuits aren't going to rise. We're going to put just a little bit more flour in there on top of that, just to kind of take away a little bit of the moisture that we got with the buttermilk, because it's just not quite where I want it to be. Oh yeah, it's starting to get there now. Alright, so this is what we want our dough to look like. We want it to look like it's going to make a ball on its own. Just scrape the sides good. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like when we're done with making our biscuit dough. So we're going to come back here in just a few minutes, and we're going to roll our dough out. We'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so first thing we want to do when we're getting ready to roll out our biscuits is get you a little bit of flour. And you can do this on a cutting board, or you can do it on a aluminum foil, parchment paper, just whatever you want to, but just kind of put your flour out there like that and kind of spread it around a little bit. Put our rolling pin there for just a second. Now then, we're going to take our dough, we're going to put it out on that flour. Get all the good parts off the fork. Alright, and then we're going to just kind of roll it in that flour just to get a little bit of extra flour on there. That'll keep it from sticking to your board is what that's for. Alright, I think we're ready to do some rolling now. I'll spread that flour out just a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to take our rolling pin, get us a little bit of flour on that rolling pin so that it won't stick to our dough. And we're just going to roll it out like this. Just kind of try to make a level place on all your dough. Just kind of get it about the same size. I don't like that. That's a little thicker, a little thinner than I want it. So we're going to do it again. All right, let's see if we can come out a little better this time. Roll it one way, then roll it another way. Like I say, I don't want to make a whole lot of biscuits here this morning. There's only 2 of us, so no reason to make a big bunch of biscuits. But of course, depending on how many you need to make, you can use more flour and more milk and just get them to wherever you need them to be so you can make as many as you need. Okay, so I got my handy dandy biscuit cutter here. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can always use some type of a glass or a plastic cup. But we want to get us a little bit of flour on the edge of that so that the biscuits won't stick to it. Alright, so we're going to cut our first biscuit. And a lot of times they tell you don't twist your biscuit cutter. I've done it before and twisted it and not twisted it, and so I'm not 100% sure that it makes a whole lot of difference, but that's what they tell you anyway. Alright, so we've got us 3 biscuits cut out there. We'll take them, just put them right over here, out of the way, because we're going to take that extra dough. We're going to get us another biscuit out of it. So with that, we're going to just take that dough and just roll it up again. Again, you don't want to work it too much. If you work it too much, your biscuits won't raise. And let's just mash that out a little bit. Roll it. And then we're going to fold it over there again like that. Alright, put her back down there. Roll it out a little bit more so we can get us a good biscuit. Alright, we're going to cut us one more out of there. So I did pretty good. I got us just enough biscuits to be able to put in. Now, put that over there out of the way. And we can pitch that. Alright. Now we're going to try something I've never tried before. We're going to see if we can't cook these biscuits in the Blackstone air fryer. So if you've got one, you can try it that way. If not, cook them in the oven. It'll be all right. So I'm gonna be interested to see how these biscuits turn out in the Blackstone. Hopefully they'll do their thing and be good. So you can see we've got them in the air fryer basket. We're gonna put them in the air fryer. We've got that air fryer set at somewhere around 325. Let's turn it up just a little bit. All right, we're going to see what happens with them now. Like I say, first time I've ever tried this, so don't know how it's going to work out. We'll be back in just a little bit. All right, so we're going to start making our roux now for our gravy. And first thing we're going to do is we put some bacon grease in the pan here. And then we're going to add a little bit of flour to that bacon grease. Now we don't want too much flour, we just want just enough to make us a little roux, and I'll show you what that looks like once we get it done. And we're going to stir that flour up and see if we need to put a little more in there. And kind of looking like we're probably going to have to. Yeah, I believe we can put a little more flour in there. So let's get us a little bit more. Sprinkle that around in there. And good thing about this is that if you get too much flour in it, you can always put you some more oil in it, which that looks like that's what we're maybe going to have to do here, is put a little bit more oil in, because that's a little stiffer than what we want it to be. So let's get us some oil, and we'll add a little more to that. All right, so we got some oil here, so let's just shoot a little more oil down in there. Let's do some more stirring. And again, if you get too much oil, put a little more flour in it. It's a work in progress just to see what you got. But this is starting to look pretty good here. It's getting good and hot. Now it depends on whether you want white gravy or if you want a little bit of brown gravy. Just depends on how you like it. I'm gonna put just a touch bit more flour in there. Not much, just probably not even a teaspoon or a tablespoonful. All right, so this is what we want it to look like when we get it done. But we're gonna let it brown a little bit because I do like some brown gravy. So we're gonna put it back on the heat just a little longer and let it do its thing there. This is where we're gonna put our salt and pepper into our gravy. Now, with the salt, you don't want to add too much because you can't take that back. But you can always add more when you get ready to eat it. We'll put us some pepper in there. I like a little bit of pepper in it, not a whole lot, but you can see kind of what that looks like. And we're just gonna stir it up some more. Let it sit there till it browns up a little. And then we'll be ready to move on to the next phase. Okay, so we got our roux looking the way we want it to. It's kind of brown. Like I say, I like mine a little brown, so that's how I did it. And it's just good, and brown smells so good. So we're going to set this to the side for a few minutes because we're not quite ready to make gravy yet. And then we're going to cut us up some potatoes. Now these are some potatoes that we had left over from the restaurant the other night. And we're going to fry these. So I'm going to cut them maybe a little better than a 1/4 inch thick. Like I say, these were baked potatoes, so we're going to use them. And they're going to be so good. I got 2 of them there. They're pretty large potatoes. And if the peel comes off of them, it ain't no big deal. It'll be fine. We're going to move them down there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a black spot there in that one, so we'll probably throw that away. And like I say, you can cut them as thin or as thick as you like them. But this is kind of about how we like them. And if you can hear the air fryer, that's what that noise is. It's cooking those biscuits I put in there. Makes a little bit of racket, but hopefully it'll do a good job on those biscuits. Alright, we got all those done now. Now we're gonna come over here and we're gonna move the camera around a little bit. I'm my own cameraman today, so I'm having to do it all. But we're gonna move the camera and then we're gonna put these potatoes on. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some oil on here. We're gonna turn our grill back on, get it going good. Take our spatula and kind of smooth that oil out a little bit. Get us enough space in there to cook our potatoes. Alright, and then we just put them on there, just like this. Alright, we had a few bad spots in our potatoes, so we're not going to get as many as we had hoped we were going to get. So let's turn the other side of the grill on. Turn them down just a little bit, about on medium. And we're going to go get us some sausage patties to put on here. So we'll be back in just a few. Alright, so we got us some sausage patties. Let's put just a little more oil on there just so we get some non-stick going on there. Just move it around a little bit. Alright, now these are frozen sausage patties. their Goolsby sausage. That's what we've always used in the restaurant, and it makes a really, really good sausage. So we're going to cook these sausages, cook the egg or cook the potatoes, and then right at the end we're going to come back. We're going to make us some scrambled eggs and make our gravy. So we'll be back with you when this is about done. All right, I believe our sausage and our potatoes are about ready to come up now. They got a good brown on them. I didn't want to make y'all sit here and watch all this while we were cooking, so I just let it not record while we were doing that. We're going to get our potatoes off of here. Oh, those smell so good. They don't want to cooperate. So I'm going to set that plate down there and grab me a fork over here. And we'll make them get up there on that spatula like that. And that sausage is pretty. Alright, so now that we got these potatoes out here, I'm going to salt them now. I didn't salt them while they were on the grill, but we'll do that at this point. And they still got a little bit of oil on them, so that should help the salt to stick to them. Alrighty. Let's put them back over here on top of each other, where we got room to put our sausage on here. Alright, now then we're ready to get our sausages. Alright, so we got all that done now, and next thing is we're going to make our gravy, and then we're going to do our eggs. So be right back. Alright, now if you remember back a little while ago, we got our roux ready to make our gravy with. So we're at that point now where we're ready to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that roux, which you can see it's good and brown, and we're going to put us a little milk in it. Not too much, because you can always thin it down, but you can't thicken it back up. So we put our milk in there. Now we're going to roll it around in there and get all those good brown parts incorporated in. Let it heat up. And we should have some good looking gravy here in just a little bit. Making gravy is not really all that hard. It's, you might have to practice a little bit to get what you want in it and get it the way you want it, but it's not a hard thing to do. Hear people say all the time, "Oh, I can't make gravy." Well, it's really not that hard. The biggest thing is you just got to keep stirring. Because if you quit stirring, that's going to let all this just kind of goop up on you. But if you'll keep stirring, you'll have good gravy. Won't have lumps in it. Alright, so we can let that sit there for a few minutes. And we're going to get our eggs ready to go. Alright, so we got our gravy fixed up. And this is what you want your gravy to look like. That's some pretty good looking stuff there. Now we're going to do our eggs. So I've already cracked and beat up our eggs, put some salt and some pepper and a little bit of milk in with them. So we're ready to start cooking. All right. We got them turned down on about a medium heat. We're just gonna fold them over on top of each other until we get them cooked. Oh yeah, they're looking good. I believe they are just about ready. It doesn't take just a minute on this flat top to cook these eggs. You don't want to let them cook too long unless you like brown eggs. So they are ready to come up. And get that little piece there. We don't want to leave him. So now then, there's our eggs. Now, we're going to put us a plate together here in just a minute and show you what everything looks like. I'll show you those biscuits that we cooked in that air fryer. They look pretty good. They didn't raise up as much as I would have liked for them to, but they still look pretty darn delicious. We're going to find out here in just a few minutes just how delicious that they are. So we'll be back with y'all here in just a few and get us a plate made. All right, y'all, we've got it all fixed up and ready to go here. We've got biscuit, sausage, scrambled eggs, gravy, potato, and I love to put some gravy on my potatoes. So let's see how everything tastes here. Good eggs. Let's try a potato. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see what the sausage and biscuits taste like. Biscuits are a little crumbly. Wasn't hoping for that, but it'll be all right. Get a little egg go in there with it. Mm. Yep, that is a good country style breakfast. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day and that you'll come see us again next time. Remember, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell button on the video. Help us to grow our channel. And we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.